All right, guys, today we're going to talk about 3 holes. Not those holes, you dirty savages. All right, we're talking holes in people, holes in our feet, holes in our kit, and how to plug those holes. So come on back. Today's video is brought to you by Dry Fire Man. If you're like me and you live in a striker fire world, they have the solution for dry fire training. The magazine goes in and allows you to reset your trigger without having to manipulate the slide. So if you do a lot of dry fire training, which you should, definitely worth taking a look at. Check them out in the description below. Well, all right, guys, we're back. Let's talk about plugging holes in kit, right? Field expedient wise, right? Like when we get back, we can always replace kit. You know, we can go down to the stitch bitch and have something sewed up. But if you're out in the woods and you're out in austere environments and things get holes and things break, which they do, how do you deal with it? How do you fix it? This is no kidding. I shit you not. In Ranger school, my BDUs became so war thin by the time I was in mountains. I tore, huge holes in my pants, and you don't want holes in your pants, especially in an environment like that, because it's just another avenue for bugs and infection and stuff to get in there, right? And it just makes your life bad. So I started using this patching system then because it's all I had. And I'm telling you, years and years later, I still had the same pair of pants from Ranger school that I could still go out and use in the woods. And the patches held for years. And ever since then, that's what I do. That's what I carry for field expedient equipment fixing. Yeah, and here's kind of what it is. So it's pretty simple, guys, right? A Leatherman, you're gonna need that. You'll be happy you have that, or some type of multi-tool with a plier on it. You definitely want the plier. Good 100-mile-an-hour tape. Not all 100-mile-an-hour tape is created equally, right? So like the really, really sticky stuff, I actually like better. I like the duct tape and the Gorilla tape the best. But if you have just the Army 100-mile-an-hour tape, that comes in like 3 different types too. Like there's the really thin stuff that tears. You don't want that. There's the really thick stuff that doesn't stick to anything. You don't want that. And then there's the really thick stuff that tears easily but sticks to everything. That's what you want. Go down to Hobby Lobby, or hell, you could probably get these at Walmart, but go down into the craft section and get you a set of needles. They come in little packs like this, and there's a whole bunch of different types, but a little craft pack of needles like this. Big, chunky needles, and also the rounded curved ones, right? You do that. The secret sauce is waxed dental floss. Man, this stuff is incredibly strong, incredibly resilient, puts up with the elements, does not rot. This is really, really good stuff, right? And because it's waxed, it helps push through gear a little bit easier. I've used thread, big thick thread. I've used 550 gut, and that always winds up with some, either it's too thick or it bunches up and causes issue. And then just, some scissors. You could get away with just a knife, but scissors, like some small little scissors, which you should have in your med kit or outside your med kit anyway, so you can cut the appropriate size patches. The one thing I don't have pictured here, but is part of my kit, is a small tube of shoe goo, right? So what I got here, and I blew this out last weekend training, because you should train, right, is my general purpose pouch on my kit. And you can see this right here. So the molly tore, and I've got these 2 holes in it, right? And I've got my molly separated from it. So I'm gonna use this system here, and I'm gonna patch up these 2 holes and show you how I do it. Step 1 is to make my patch out of my 100-mile-an-hour tape. And the most crucial thing, because this patch is gonna go on the outside, and it's also gonna go on the inside. And it's crucial to make sure that the patch on both sides are equal in size. So when we're stitching it, I'm using that material the best I can. If I'm gonna have one patch smaller than the other, I'd rather have it be the outside patch, because that's what I'm using as a visual reference as I start to sew this. Now, if I wanna make this as strong as I possibly can, this is where I'd put some shoe goo right here. Just a little bit, doesn't need much. And you don't wanna use too much, because then your tape doesn't stick to the material the way you want until it's all dried. So I take any wrinkles out of there, get all my wrinkles out. I really get that tape stuck to the material. All right, so there's step 1. Step 1 alpha. Go on the inside here. I can see my holes. See that? This is where I really blend it together, push it in hard and tight, let that tape work the way it's designed. This is pretty good tape. This is the duct tape brand, which is good. It's not as thick as the Gorilla tape. I think Gorilla tape is probably a little thicker for patching. I think works a little bit better. All right, my temporary patch is in place. Now let's keep it in place. Because we're dealing with that material, I think we're gonna use a rounded, just like a stitch you'd use on stitches. Go to the end down here. On the end, I tie me an overhand knot. It could be whatever you want. I'm a knot neek, so I'm putting a figure 8 down here. Just a little catching knot at the end. So this is all set. And basically what you're doing is you're gonna treat this just like you're stitching, you know, any other hole. What I wanna make sure I'm doing is, we'll start in the corner, we'll go in. Now I wanna make sure that I'm coming out. See, I'm coming out in the backside and I still have patch there. I don't wanna have it material, otherwise it's not, I'm trying to make this patch stick to both sides. So stick it there. I'm gonna bring it back through. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? I don't like this needle for what we're doing. Now with the straight needle. That same hole. I'm making sure that I got patch to patch. Come through. I'm not gonna pull it. I'm not gonna pull all the way the knot yet though. I just wanna circle back through. I'm gonna come back out outside of the fabric. So just like that, outside of the fabric, come back, and I'm gonna run this through here just to help catch that and keep it tight. There's my first stitch, right? And so now I'm gonna repeat that process. I'm gonna repeat this process all the way around the patch. About, don't need to be nothing too small, nothing too egregious. It's kind of like Bob Ross, it's your world, you're happy with the world. You sit by the campfire, you got all kinds of time to do this stuff. You're just making a loop stitch all the way around. You can do other type of stitches. This just works. I don't need to make it arts and crafts, you know, and I'm certainly not trying to be Martha Stewart. All right, you wanna wait and on these corners, I'm pretty particular about the corners because that's where this stuff starts to rip off. So that's where I'll get a little tighter on the stitch. All right, guys, so that initial patch is fixed, right? You can see it's just rudimentary, gross stitching around. I pay attention to the corners because those corners tend to peel up and create more problems for you. So the other thing to watch is, you know, what I could have done better is have, you want this right here, you want patch all the way through. I don't have it at the bottom, so it's gonna be okay, but ideally this whole patch will be through tape on the backside. And then what you can do if you really wanna super protect it, like I said, you can take shoe goo and just go over the edges and the seams and let the shoe goo dry, it's nice and flexible. But that patch will fix that pocket and things from falling out of that pocket for years to come. Now, if I wanted to go the next step, which we're not going to for this video, but the next step would be basically redoing my patch here. So this would be pushing through here and redoing my stitching for my molly. That's where having this is very important because I can't push through this hard enough. It'll be so taxing on your fingers. So I'm not gonna do it. The whole thing, I'm just gonna show you, like I would get it set. Then I'll push where I want it. And you see, even with the pliers, it's quite the pain in the ass. Now I'd pull through and I start that process back and forth to reattach that molly. And that's it, guys. That's the tools and the technique that I use for patching holes in equipment, you know, field expediently, of course, right? Very simple, 100-mile-an-hour tape, waxed, dental floss, craft needles, Leatherman. You know, scissors if you want to cut your patches just right. And all this stuff also serves other purposes. You've seen the video about foot care. I wouldn't use this needle for going through a blister, but you may have blisters big enough you need to get underneath it. Or this may be a great needle for lancing a blister underneath the toenail. Again, multi-purpose. I'm trying not to carry a one-purpose tool if I can keep from it. That's my little kit. So let me see what you guys got out there. I know there's a lot of, you know, glue-backed canvas stuff already you can just peel and stick. And those are great, especially for tents and stuff on the fly when it's like last minute and you didn't realize there's a hole in your tent. But if you had a hole in your tent, you had time to fix it, this right here would work just fine. All right, guys, so that's it for plugging holes in kit. We've already done a segment on plugging holes in feet. Now we've done kit. Here in the coming future, we'll do a segment on plugging holes in people. So come back and watch some more. If you like content like this and you want to see more, smash that like button, subscribe, share this channel, share this video to people out there. And thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. See ya.